Hello, I would like to introduce you to Chapter 18, Data Structure and Storage. Much of the focus of this chapter is on minimizing disk accesses. Traditional hard disk drives are relatively slow compared to main memory. It takes about 1,000 times longer to access a record from a disk drive compared to retrieving that same record from main memory. We have three techniques for minimizing disk access. First, defragmentation, which essentially means taking the various fragments of a file, which might be scattered across a disk, and putting them together on a single track. This means the read-write head can stay above that track while it reads all of the components of a file. A second approach is clustering, where you put on the same track files that are often accessed at the same time. Again, you're trying to minimize movement of the read-write head. The third technique, indexing, is to create a small file that points to the records in a larger file. Therefore, we can search the index very rapidly and then retrieve the specific record that we might want. It's very similar to the idea of an index in a book. You search the index to find the word that you want and then go to that particular page. This chapter also introduces two non-XML data exchange standards, CSV or comma separated values. This method is frequently used when you export a spreadsheet and want to import it into another application, such as R, the statistics package. Another technique is JSON, JavaScript Object Notation. This is a lightweight format that's often used for data exchange when people are creating websites. This chapter introduces you to the various forms of data storage devices. We cover magnetic drives, the most commonly used data storage device in business, and in particular we look at redundant array of inexpensive disks. We also look at optical disk drives and solid-state disk drives, which are becoming more popular and starting to replace magnetic drives. The chapter concludes with helping you to make a choice of the particular device that you want to use, dependent upon the purpose of the application. So, for example, if you're very interested in access speed, that is, you want to be able to deliver records very quickly to your customers, then you might look in those columns that have a 3-star for access speed. If you are needing to store data for the long term, archival data or backup data, then you're very concerned about the cost per megabyte. And so you might look for the 3 stars in the column headed cost per megabyte. Another consideration might be legal standing, that you want to store records for the long term, and then at some point they might have to be presented in court to verify a transaction or a contract. Making a choice is not simple. It's a trade-off amongst the various elements such as access speed and volume.